Right. Now, there's a lot of interest in Copilot. Everyone's excited about being able to do more with less and to be super efficient at accessing data and summarizing data. There are a few risks that come with this enormous power that large language models and the various Copilots offer you. And let me give you an example of how there can be some unforeseen consequences of just turning Copilot on in an organization if you haven't applied the necessary controls. Let's say, for example, I was looking for information on Microsoft Business Premium. Right, it's going through my documents. It's giving me a pretty good answer on what Microsoft Business Premium is, but now it's looking through documents created by my team. I can see the references popping up now as well. And if I click here on the bottom, you can see that it's found an opportunity deck, it's found a document from Microsoft, and it's got a partner enablement set of activities. So if I go across to Teams now, and I want to paste that summary that I got from Copilot into a message for the attendees on the chat, and I paste it, can you see that it's actually included the documents as well? And so if you haven't labeled those documents as confidential and you haven't restricted them from being found by Copilot and shared, then a user who might not even have known that they had access to that particular document can inadvertently share sensitive information or view information that might put them in a compromising position, information they wouldn't want to be aware of. So it's very important that before one turns on Copilot, that you've done comprehensive access reviews to make sure that people only have access to the resources that they should have access to, and that you've applied Microsoft's information protection, Microsoft Purview labels to indicate data that is highly confidential and only visible to internal users, and confidential data that shouldn't be shared externally. Now, we recognize that labeling and data classification is going to require end-user training. There's an element of operational impact on the business. And so we've taken all the guesswork out of planning a label strategy, and we've predefined a set of labels we know works for all businesses. We give your end users guidance on how the sensitivity bars appear in their different applications, how to look in Outlook, how to look in Windows 10 and 11, how to look when they share documents, what they need to do if they're sharing with external parties and are using the viewers. We've integrated into signature management as well, so that we can make sure that we encrypt the messages after the banners and signatures have been applied. This is also important, by the way, for NIS2 and for copy and other protection of personal information. You need to make sure that your disclaimers are in order and that you have good guidance as to how that works. And what we've done is we've given your users a decision tree that's very easy to follow. These are maps that when you're doing the transition to applied labeling, you can put around the office, you can have on the desktops. And we give a very simple map for users when they need to decide when they're applying their labels. So I'll take you through it. If it's business related, it's going to be one of four labels: public, general, confidential, or highly confidential. If it has to be kept private, it's confidential or highly confidential. And if it can be shared by NDA outside the company, it's one of these two. And if it needs to be shared with an external party, with a viewer, it's these two. And if you want to stop people forwarding, it's this label. So very, very easy for people to know what they need to do and how they need to do it. Everything that's highly confidential is simple. It's the labels that cannot be shared outside your company, and the only external parties that one would let have access to highly confidential labels would be your auditors and your legal counsel.